It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. Time to become a syllable division lady.
Welcome back to another video. I am Dr. Allison Parker, the Syllable Division Queen. I am a private practice literacy coach based in Brooklyn, New York. In today's presentation, I would love to discuss with you, why is my child in kindergarten a struggling reader? There are a wealth of variables as to why children struggle, and that's the focus of today's video. Reason number one could be that maybe the child has a speech, hearing, or language problem. How is the child's language? When you call your child, does he or she immediately turn? Pay attention to your child's hearing and pay attention to their speech production. Does the speech come out clear or is it gargled and fuzzy? Think about that, and this could be a possible reason why your child is struggling. We know that children who struggle with speech and language usually struggle with reading and writing. The next reason why your child may be struggling is because perhaps your child has poor phonemic awareness. Phonemic awareness is auditory processing of syllables and rhyming words, having the ability to blend sounds together like at, segmenting sounds, as well as manipulating sounds. Let's say I say to you, say cat, and you say cat. Say cat again, but change the k to b. Some children can do this with ease and good flexibility, while some students struggle with this. If you struggle with phonemic awareness, the research shows us more than likely you are going to struggle with decoding and figuring out words. So children who are struggling are usually children who are looking at pictures and just making a good guess at it, rather than examining the letter sounds. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and subscribe and like this video. The next reason why a child might be struggling in kindergarten is, this is a huge factor, kids just don't know enough, and kids who are struggling don't know their consonants. Consonants are letters that have a stop sound, like the letter B says B, and the letter F says F, and the letter L says L. Students who don't know all their consonants, they don't know the letter names, and they don't know the letter sounds, will ultimately struggle with reading. Next up is a lack of knowledge with the vowels. The vowels are A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. Students who just can't remember the name of the vowel and they can't remember the sound. Ah, eh, ah, Children who struggle with vowels, they don't know that vowels are letters that make an open mouth sound. They will definitely struggle with their reading. Children who struggle, they confuse the eh with the I and the ah with the So there's a lot going on if children cannot remember their vowel names as well as their sounds. The next concept that children may be struggling with is a lack of knowledge about consonant digraphs. Digraphs, yes, digraphs. Digraphs are two letters that make one sound. And so we have ch, f, w, sh, and k. Children confuse these or they just can't remember them. We have children who try to decode this as two separate sounds like k, and this is not what they should be doing. So it's a lack of knowledge. Speaking of a lack of knowledge, children are expected to know at least 50 to 75 sight words in kindergarten. They can't remember these words because they are words whose sounds may be unexpected. So kids have to see them over and over and over again by being read to at night during bedtime story time. In the classroom, they have to notice them in books, big books, and books that they are reading. And so if children can't remember their sounds, particularly these, and these sight words are frequently occurring, which means they show up over and over and over again in children's books. So we teach them by sight and by playing different games. So many children struggle with they and was and said. We have children who will try to break these letters apart and blend them like aid, said, or said. Said is not a word. And so we want to give support to these children. But first, we have to notice what their struggles are. Children who are struggling just don't know enough sight words. Please like and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Reason number 8 is the child may have a learning disability. Dyslexia is a language-based learning disability. It's a learning difference. How the brain interprets letters and sounds is just different in these kids, and they need more support. They may have lifelong challenges if they are not taught strategies to decode words. So if you are thinking, I've worked on the ABCs with my child, and I know I taught the letter names and the letter sounds, and they're still not getting it, please comment the word assess, and I'd be happy to assess your child remotely or to share an assessment for you to use, for you to assess your child. Basically, it's a list of words for you to notice where your child is falling short. Next up, children who struggle with reading, they have poor attention and memory tendencies where they are constantly moving, they are constantly struggling to maintain attention and focus. And so these are children who have poor working memory. You teach them something today, tomorrow you check, and they can't remember. So this is another variable negatively impacting our little kindergarten friends. Reason number 10 has to do with the nature versus the nurture theory. What is the household environment like? So environmental factors are at play here. Children who struggle to read have little to no exposure with literacy in the home or in their daycare settings. Maybe they had a play-based setting and they didn't have a bit of academics involved in daycare and preschool. And as such, they just don't know enough. Reading to children at home may or may not have been a priority. If it's not a priority, well, then we know children will struggle with learning if there was no reading at home between, let's say, birth and entering kindergarten or through kindergarten. So we know that language and learning sounds through songs and play is so important. So singing songs and playing letter games and reading aloud at home is not a priority for some families. And because it's not a priority, it's children just don't have enough time on task to learn what they need to learn because the brain needs repetition. The kids can't remember and retain if you read on Monday to your child, but then you don't read again until the next month or over the weekend. It may have a negative impact. Kids need to know a wealth of words to become strong readers. And they become strong readers when they're read aloud to and when they are allowed to flourish and read at home. So look at these two environments where books are key, where the environment is organized for play, for reading, for effort, and for learning. So this concept of the environment being prepped for kids and ready for kids to learn in is so important. And so you want to have a library of books at home for your kid to read, or take your child to a library to get books to read. And so children who have little to no books at home and they don't visit the library, this is not a habit. Some kids I know, they've never been to a library and they're in third, fourth, or fifth grade. And they don't see the value in reading because they don't read, or they weren't read to in these early years. So when kids are struggling, we can take two approaches. You basically have two choices. You could do the wait and see method, which is I'll wait and see how this school year goes with this particular teacher in this particular new school. And what you will find is if your kid is struggling with several of these variables, you might notice that at the end of kindergarten, your child is basically in the same spot he or she was in with minimal growth in 10 months of schooling. And so what I would rather you do, Queen, is to take action. And when I say take action, I mean start reading to your child starting today. Start now. Forget about yesterday. Read to your child and make this a habit. Children will fall in love with reading. And then switch it. After you're done reading, also listen to your child read. And notice, take the information about the words that your child cannot read, and I would highly recommend that you implement a phonics program at home. If you need help with this, click the link below. I am offering several resources to parents. If you're interested in joining a community of mothers who this is their number one mission, to make sure that their children close the reading achievement gap, click the link below. If you are interested in a course for you to learn how to teach your child the basics so that they can thrive in kindergarten, click the link below. And finally, if you are interested in a set of phonics workbooks to support your child and supplement learning at home, again, click the link below. That's all for today. I want you to take this information that you find below in the description box and take action. Children whose parents pay attention and notice and build this love of literacy at home, this love of literacy becomes a routine in the home. Children become rock star readers. And before I go, I want to leave with you one important fact. Mothers are children's first teachers. Don't underestimate your power, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Ciao for now.
Powerfully literate and join forces now. Partner with me and I'll teach you how. It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. It's all about the syllables, baby. Time to become a syllable division lady.